Hello, I am Lisa J. Stocks. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Stock Talk episode. So let's get started. Today we're going to be talking about gift giving in a different way. Not something that's going to collect dust, not something that's going to go uh, out of style. Um, I was on last week, I think, with Tashika, and she was talking about the kids literally playing with the box instead of the toys when they're very small. We're going to talk about things that really last, and everything is not going to be traditional. Those, uh, something that everyone would even look at as a holiday gift, but we're talking about incorporating something different. I've already said, instead of giving the kids certain things, we can give gifts of a deposit to that 529, but we're going to go even deeper. And I was inspired by an article that I saw on Fidelity recently. But, of course, I went through it and then I'm going to be putting my own twist on it. So we're going to get started going into my topic of the day. First, thank you so much to Elevated, Dr. Ninja, Fast Eddie, About That Wallet, Pipeline, Everyone Sledge. All of you guys that are tuning in have shared me out and are always here supporting the channel. Now, I have a goal today. I would like to get to 7,000 subscribers before the end of this live. So, guys, make sure to subscribe if you like all things finance related. If you are enjoying this live, if you enjoy my videos, my shorts, whatever, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can keep up with everything that I share over here. So let's start with gifting for yourself. We're going to put ourselves first. We're supposed to pay ourselves first, and we are going to start with gifting for ourselves during this holiday season and all year round. So ask yourself, what can I give myself today that my future self would thank me for? Here are some ideas. And we can start by here when it's not all about investing. Saving is an element that we touch on too. So when it comes to investing, what could we do? We can increase our contribution to our 401k at our employer. It's a new year coming, so those contribution rates that you can add to your Roth IRA are increasing. Are you ready to step it up and do extra? If not an entire $500 extra, something extra. And these are ways that you are going to be setting your own self up for retirement, paying yourself, giving yourself a gift before we prioritize all those materialistic things. And what could we do once we make that? Make sure you're evaluating everything that you have in your portfolio already, and then see if there is an low cost ETF or index fund works well in your IRA. And add a few shares of a company that you believe in, or stick to a fund. Buy fractional shares. Just that little bit is going to make that difference. This is how we are going to be taking care of ourselves. Now, a lot of people call it sinking funds, emergency funds, whatever you call it. Another step is creating a new savings bucket for the things that we know come up throughout the year, those emergencies, but also the good things, different, people that you want to have something aside for a gift for them, for vacations, whatever opportunities or things that come up through the year, you want to be ready for it. So under gift giving, I'm encouraging you to evaluate what's been going on in your life, and maybe that's some place that you can put a little gift to yourself so that you're not stressed out when the car breaks down or just needs that regular maintenance. Just have yourself be prepared for all of these different things. So even 20, $30 uh, here and there, figure out what works for your budget on a weekly basis. It would be great if you could stick to a set amount, but these are just things that over time, it really will help you. And now, I do not have a health savings account, but that's also something that you can evaluate if that's somewhere you can do a little something extra. And then another thing that I touched on a little bit, not I don't go deep into it too often because I try to stay to my focus on giving you guys just health, not too much health and wellness, but one thing they always say health is wealth. So that's how I try to incorporate it on my channel here and there. But make sure that you're setting money aside or prioritizing, because I know, I have insurance, but just those co-pays, the portion that you have to take care of, it can be substantial, but you have to realize that we have to make sure to make time. It takes time off from work sometimes. You have to, in order to get certain appointments in, but we have to prioritize taking care of you. And with that, sometimes, most of the time for me, it does come with some financial responsibility on my part. So make sure you're taking care of those annual checkups, the MRIs, the all the different tests that are in line with your particular preventative care that you need. And it's getting cold outside. We have to take time to not let our workout regimen fall to the wayside either. And so you may need to have a gym membership in order to keep up with being able to have an indoor warm place to keep up with our exercise. Healthy meals. I know it's hard. Our budgets are busted just buying basic things at the supermarket, but try to find the best choices possible, because like I said, health is wealth. And so we want to make sure that we're trying to strive to take care of ourselves in all ways possible. So now, smart gifts for other adults. We're going to move on to now that we've gifted ourselves, we prioritize ourselves. Let's see. Think about things that can be meaningful without spending a ton of money. Sometimes those small things, those things that just show that thought, really will touch someone's heart. And so you can also encourage, the people around you, the adults around you, to get on track with their investing and saving. So thank you guys for tuning in and chatting. I will be taking some breaks to check back for any questions. So now, let's see. All right. So gifts to other adults. Now, you may, these are those, if you can do both, but I'm going to be talking about those more responsible, more, things that will help, in a different kind of a way. I've been one that has not been too thrilled to get some of those very, very, a flashlight or some pots and pans. You kind of want something more exciting, but at the same time, as the year goes on, you use those things that might be the more practical gifts. So for someone, you might want to gift some, food delivery gift cards. If you know that they might be having a busy time, gas cards, help out with like a cleaning service, things like that. So think about those type of gifts for adults, even paying for Netflix, different subscriptions, just to give them a little financial break from things that they maybe want to treat themselves to, but you know, it's tough out here. So, uh, giving it as a gift that can kind of ease their budget for a little bit is something different. Now, time. You can also gift your time by helping someone out, by if you know that they're, maybe studying for a license or doing something different. They have a long commute home or something like that. Helping out with cooking for them, organizing, even going over and keeping them company while they're doing certain activities. These are not the main, the things that you may think of as a gift, but sometimes when you think outside of the box and offer these type of things, it could be something different that could be helpful. And at the same time, maybe you can be chatting about other ways that you can incorporate making their money work for them. So let me know. Have you ever gotten a non-material gift from anyone, the type of things that I'm describing? And what did you think of it? How did it touch you? So now let's move on to the kids. We have to remember that toys get old, games get outdated, shoes and clothes and all these things are, they're going to outgrow them. They're going to go out of fashion and all these different things. So we need clothes, of course. We need shoes. Like I just said, they outgrow them. I know, but so realize, don't overspend on having so much on different sizes because it's only going to last so long. Um, I've been saying that maybe someone, if not a few people in the family, can take on uh, incorporating the taking on the role of being that person that is contributing towards investing for the long term into a 529, a UTMA account, whatever you are able to partner with the parents on so that they can get started early on this journey to build wealth for higher education, for their first car, for their first home. So many different things that we go through as we get started in life, and so those small investments are as they get when they're I want to see us start doing this as soon as we get that social security number for these babies, but as they get older you can also teach them and give them visibility to their portfolio and have them choose something like a Disney or an Apple or Roblox or something like that, McDonald's. Maybe give them a small, have them partner with you to do those investments and show them how their money is growing. And so hopefully that will be have them on track so that they continue doing it when they become of age and they're ready to start uh, building their own portfolios, take over what you started for them. So, and if this is already not even, a thought process in the parents or the, people around you, maybe this will be the year that you could bring it to their attention. Like, hey, what do you think? What type of investment accounts for your kids? What do you think will be the right fit for the long term? And get, partner with them because as if you're a friend or the godparent or the grandparent, you need support of the parents if you want to really have a true account in the child's name because they're going to have to provide the birth certificate, social security number, and things like that. So hopefully that you can be around people that have the same mindset and get something new started. So another thing is not just focusing on those material things, a trip, taking a class, going to a museum, doing activities, everything takes money. So we have to count those experiences as something that could be a great gift. Take pictures, build memories, and all of those different things. And so, yeah, it doesn't have to be just about those things that are not going to last, those toys and games and just things that are not going to have any possibility of gaining value in the long run. So, all right, now let's move on to another way that we can contribute is by paying it forward and taking some time to reflect, evaluate your community and what's going on around you, and see if there is a charity or community group, a school that you can, offer some time. If not, if you don't, if not money, it doesn't always have to be about money. Like I said, you could maybe babysit, maybe help with an elderly parent of a friend if you have a little bit of time, and you see that what's going on with them, how their time is spent, just to give someone a break. So there might be certain community groups, local organizations that would appreciate you stopping in and giving some time. Donation, money is great, but if you have a skill set that you can share with the community, that really can be impactful to your community also. And so there's always things going on. I know I used to work at a company that was located near like a boys and girls village. It was a place where it was a residential place where children lived. And so they would give us a wish list of the children that were residing there. And so, there's going to be basics on there that probably the administrators wanted, but they were also able to put in things that they wanted. But we would always be contributing, backpacks and winter coats and school supplies and things like that. Some of those practical things that that may be worn out, or they just didn't have an opportunity to have a new one. So just because of their circumstances. So, all right, next up, random acts of kindness. When you're out, you might leave a little bit of an extra tip. You might just find different ways to maybe pay for the person behind you if you can in the line. Those random things that you might see going on at the holiday times. So, has anyone ever encountered anything like that, a random act of kindness that kind of really touched you a lot? I know years ago when I bought my house, I was when I was a first time a homeowner. Something that really touched me. I got to the house. I didn't, we had closed on the house and it was like springtime and I hadn't bought a lawnmower yet. And a friend of the family that didn't even have like a pickup truck, had a sedan, put their lawnmower in their car some kind of a way and had come over and at least mowed the whole front of the property, just to make it look presentable for me. And, that was many years ago. And I'll tell you, I still remember to this day, it really touched me. The effort that they made in order to help me out, because they were just happy for me, just getting the home and everything. So let's see. Couples. Yes, couples. We all want gifts from our loved ones, especially our significant other. But, depending on your budget, really think about what you could maybe do. Like I was saying with those trips and things like that, maybe that could be on track to replace some of the gifts throughout the year. Just focus on one big thing for each other to enjoy together. So all these steps, I want us to enjoy our lives, but at sometimes incorporate things that can grow in value for us at the same time. Kind of ease people's budgets. Like I was mentioning, the grocery store, gas cards, those type of gifts that could help out during these times when expenses are getting so high, groceries, everything, our utilities, our health insurance premiums, all these different things. So those might not be things that, those are not the things that you can help out with, but by giving a card, like I said, Netflix, those type of things, the gas, those type of things are those little uh, ways that you could give a gift and kind of help someone to ease their budget in those different departments. So, but at the same time, whatever we do, make sure that it fits into your budget so that we can avoid holiday debt, because that's what I'm all about over here is investing, building wealth, and staying out of debt together, being responsible with our credit cards. I see some of my community members in the chat right now. So set a budget, stick to it, and think outside of the box with some of those, gifts that you can give that may not even cost any money. So but yeah, this year, if you haven't been doing it in the past, if you can't afford it, be honest, be real. And if they are true friends, if they are really, family members that care for you, they will understand. So that is my topic of the day. So now I'm going to be going through the chat. Let me acknowledge Vincent. I've been over here chatting and chatting and chatting. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that, Vincent. Happy early Thanksgiving, Lisa. Thank you. Yes, and we are having Thanksgiving.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
Thanksgiving is coming up in just a few days, and it is statistically, they say, the most expensive meal of the year because we're buying all of those extras. And so let's see. I'm going to take a look back through the chat. Please give me, guys, share some suggestions, some things that you've received or things that you have, are thinking about giving that may not be the most traditional gifts. And like I was mentioning about bringing the kids along with us on this journey. How are you doing this for your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews? Share some examples and some stories that might be able to inspire others. All right, so I'm going to go up to the top of the chat and take a look. Let's go. Hey, Sledge, thank you for tuning in. Guys, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell. Elevated. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. Yes, we're talking about gifting. We're gifting cash, but obviously, we don't want our money sitting in cash. We want our money invested, especially if it's going to be sitting there for 10, 15, 20 years during a child's entire life. So that's another step that we have to be ready for is choosing the investments. And you can always just choose a basic investment. And then, like the S&P 500 or total US stock market. And then if you want to incorporate something that you feel has growth potential that does not need to potentially be watched like a hawk, because, I want this investment to flourish. Maybe do some smaller allocations into individual companies. And so, guys, this is not financial advice. I am just here sharing my financial journey, things that I've been incorporating into my own family, my own household, and I share videos all the time. I share the good and the bad. I share my mistakes that I've made, and these things that I share are really working to build wealth for everyone around me. So, if it's really something that you're not familiar with, I would definitely do a smaller allocation into it. But Microsoft, Google, Apple, in addition to the larger portion of the investment going into a fund that's just going to rebalance by itself, have a quarterly dividend coming in, have those dividends reinvested. And then, if you want to mix in a little something, like I said, a Microsoft, a Google, NVDA, something like that, or if you want them to choose, their favorite fast food place or something like that, you can really do something. Don't make it overcomplicated, because I don't want anyone to feel like I need to do so much research and I can't do this and it's too difficult. It's not too difficult. Don't let anything hold you back. We can figure it out together if needed. Go, Lisa. Thank you, Dr. Ninja, for tuning in. Yes, guys, make sure to hit that like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. KGU in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, Dr. Ninja has a HSA and aggressive growth funds. I'm definitely incorporating more of those. Hello, hello. All right. I told my son, buy something that a rich person would buy from you in 10 years. Securities. Okay. Dr. Ninja is striving to die with zero in the portfolio. Use every last dollar. Give you some Bitcoin for the holidays. Okay, tell your loved ones around you. Some Bitcoin, some FBTC. Okay, guys. So drop me some questions, some comments. If there's any ETFs or anything that you might want to evaluate or get my opinion on, I'm open to that today. Okay, Rod is sharing that non-monetary acts of kindness can go a long way with so many people. Yes. You're enjoying this topic, Anthony. Thank you. You only give gifts, you only give books for Christmas? Okay. You were looking on a church website and they said you can gift stock to them. Okay, that's different. That is different. I hope people are finding that and being open to that. Okay, let's see. We have a question here. What advice would you give an 18-year-old who wants to start investing? My nephew came to me and was interested, but wasn't sure where to point him to. Okay. So first, you have to choose what type of account you want to have. So there is retirement accounts like Roth IRA if they have their own earned income. And so with that is good. At 18 years old, I'm talking about they're tapping into this after 59 and a half. So you have to be ready for that. And that is very important. And I think a lot of us, that's where I got started. And that might have been the start and the end of my investing. I know a lot of people, that's probably all they do is just invest for retirement. But now today, I don't know how many years back I want to say, but in more recent years, we've things have changed. We have Robinhood. We have Robinhood that came out and gave us a low cost, easy way to invest right on our phone at our fingertips. And then so many others followed, like MooMoo, which I have pinned in the comments, guys. Take a look at that. If you are considering opening a new investment account, please use my referral link. So your nephew, I would say do both. Do it all. Get started with a portion going for retirement, because the earlier you start, the better. But if he is interested in investing for potentially early retirement or goals that he may have before that true retirement age, then he can also open a taxable brokerage account. So with that, there's no tax advantage to it, but you can be investing. And then if you so choose, say down the road at age 30 or, in his late 30, 35, hopefully he can at least leave it invested for a few years. Let's even go down to 25. If he needed to sell some shares, take some profit on his investments, he could tap into it. And, he will have to pay taxes on his gains and things like that. But you can get started like that. And then, like I said, no one should have to, in my opinion, wait when it comes to investing. There are basic ETFs, a whole basket of stocks that you don't have to pick individual stocks and have your money, have your $100 and say, oh, I don't know how much NVIDIA to buy and how much Apple and how much Google and Tesla and Amazon and Walmart. And I want all these different, you don't have to do it like that. You can start off investing into your ETF and then do your research, figure out which few select companies you may want to incorporate. And so I hope I'm giving you an answer that you can kind of partner with your nephew on. But the first step is choosing the account. What account type? And I would say maybe go for both. Go for a taxable brokerage account and a retirement account. Sit down with the investment calculator and make some goals as to what you would like to achieve in both of those accounts. And then from there, you can start building into, figuring out what are your numbers right now at 18 years old. And, as time goes on, just keep on working on that plan, evaluating that plan in order to be on track to achieve a goal. I don't want you just to be investing without a goal. Even at 18, it would be great. I wish, I know if everyone here was asked, what is something that you wish you knew? You wish you knew about investing. You wish you started earlier. I'm sure many of us would say that. So choose an account, figure out what you want to invest into. And so for my retirement accounts, I do all of those at Fidelity. But for right now, the MooMoo investing app is my go-to for my taxable accounts, those portfolios that I'm building that I can tap into in early retirement, hopefully, or if I have any other goals. Hey, Nija. Nice to see you here. I'm not sure if you're still here. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, Billy is still here. Good. So, Billy, please ask any other questions related to that if I didn't touch on any aspect. But I think a retirement account and, an IRA for the long term, and then potentially, because he is so young, it's hard. I think it's hard to present this he's coming to you, so he's open and interested, but I don't know if he would be, 100% interested in only creating investments that are for after 59 and a half. And I don't want him to be penalized if, and looking at this account as it grows over the years. And so by having both, there'll be a portion that if he did want to tap into, he could. And then you're still building for the future, because it's really important to take care of your older self. Okay. Listening while running errands. Okay, Nija. Nija, I would love to talk to you about your mortgage payoff journey. I think that is definitely something I am ready to get on board with, or if there's a video that you could direct me to, I'll probably send you a message related to that. All right. So let's take a quick station break again. If you're not already, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell, and make sure to check out my referral links for MooMoo, KGU, Keenan Grace's Discord, if you're interested in learning about trading options and having access to all of the crown traders within that Discord, as well as becoming a channel member and supporting the channel here on YouTube. And I don't know why I picked up my phone to see if I had any new subscribers. Okay, we gained 2 so far. We are on our road to 7,000. So, guys, make sure to share any comments. The topic of the day that we were talking about is doing something different when it comes to gift giving. What are you guys? So Andy shared that he's giving books. What is your gift that, if you do give gifts around, it doesn't have to be specific to Christmas if that is not a holiday that you celebrate, but throughout the year with Christmas or any other occasions, or what is your standard gift that you usually give? And did I share anything today that you might incorporate something different going forward? Yes. Okay. So guys, are there any ETFs or index funds that you might want to take a look at, or anything going on in your portfolio? My portfolio, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough right now, but I'm not, I'm not looking at it as for the short term. I've been through it before. I'm more experienced now, being more hands-on and living through 2022, and having my own investment accounts that I was keeping a close eye on. And so I'm seeing right now as opportunity. I'm not stressed about, the way that the market is moving, and I'm not going to stop investing. Definitely not slowing down, because, recessions make millionaires. When there is a pullback, that's when those that know are going to scoop in and buy more, and then see the reward in their portfolio down the road. So sticking to my plan. And, some things I'm always looking at all the different levels. I'm not just looking at I look at my daily gains, but I'm not going to let that bother me, because that's just a small picture. Investing is not a day-to-day thing for me. It's long-term. And so I have to keep my mind on the long-term vision when things get rough. And it's harder when something is newer to your portfolio, like SPMO is a newer addition, just a few weeks now, that I started to dollar cost average into it. And so I have no gains on that, but after it's, everything that I've been investing into for 3 or 4 years, I'm deep in profit. So when it drops by a few percentage, I don't see it, and uh, I'm able to just focus on the total gains when it comes to my portfolio. All right, so Nija's sharing that she's been mortgage free for 2 years and has opened up a lot of opportunities. Yes, I'm sure it has. Definitely something I want to make strides to do, because I want to not have the amount of expenses that I do. And just hearing people talking about like what's going on with Chicago and the amount that they're raising the property taxes and things like that. I've been saying it all along, but before I've been seeing these news headlines like I've been seeing recently over these last few weeks. That's just thinking about, if even when the mortgage is paid off completely, just thinking about the insurance, the taxes, the maintenance, my utilities, oil, gas, electricity, all of those, it's still a significant monthly amount that I'm going to have to be allocating to expenses. So, but definitely the mortgage itself is a substantial amount. All right, so make sure to subscribe if you are new here. Ask me any questions. Feel free to leave me any comments if there's any, topic, video that I can uh, share with you on that kind of can give you a deeper dive into some of the things that I touched on today, like the UTMA account or a 529 plan. um, Doing some research if you want to incorporate those individual stocks into your portfolio. I did something on that recently. And so I just want to be able to support you guys and just have us all on this journey together. Standard gifts, others. Okay. I think you were sharing that last week too. I invest into 529 plans. Yes. I know someone, a fellow YouTuber that shared with me that they gave their sister money to invest on behalf of his nieces. And the sister did not do it. And when he acts like a while after a good amount of time had passed, she had it like in a still uninvested, not in a savings account, not invested or anything. She was still holding on to it for them for the future, but she did not do what his vision was to open up a brokerage account and have this money invested. Okay, so let's see. Yes, most definitely. I wish he knew that beforehand. I haven't gotten any update on what happened with that, but I was very saddened when I heard about that situation. Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in for this week's Stock Talk episode. I was just about to handle that, Lisa. Okay. Thank you, Rod. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for chatting. And I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving, even if it's not something you necessarily celebrate. We live in America, most of us, I think. And so it might just mean a long weekend, a day off of work, whatever it is that you get from it. If it is, a nice extra special meal, time with family, or just some time off of work and paid time off, I hope. Whatever it is for you, I hope you have a great holiday. My thoughts on BITI. I'm not familiar with it. Let's take a look. I know someone recently asked me my opinion of IBIT versus FBTC, and I was telling them, basically the same expense ratio. You might just have a bit more flexibility with IBIT as opposed to FBTC, which is at Fidelity. But I plan on sticking with Fidelity, and so I have no problem with having FBTC in my portfolio. Let's take a look. Nija says she has the entire week off, and you have a whole nother week off next month because I know you're in education. I know my sister was working at a school. They had a very long school year, but when they had their breaks, they would have them be pretty significant. Like she would get a solid 2 weeks off for like the Christmas break. And it was like, a middle and elementary type of school, which is not the usual. But it's a charter. Some of these charter and can't think of the other word. Magnet and charter schools, they have flexibility to do things a little bit differently. Oh, Nija's saying that she is at a charter school, yeah, so they can make their schedule a bit differently. But yeah, I have some car repairs I need to do, and yeah, they're I was talking to them last week about it, and they're like, "Yeah, well, why don't you come like on December 3rd or 4th?" So it's like this week doesn't even it's just a wash, This week nothing much is going to be getting accomplished in many places. Okay, so I'm looking up some information on BITI ProShares. Let me go up here. Well, first let me thank a brother of a certain age for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you getting me one step closer to today's goal.
Thank you so much. We do greatly appreciate it.
And so also, thank you for being a channel member. For 16 months. You are one of my original members. Okay, so I'm talking about BITI. which is ProShares short Bitcoin ETF. So just taking a quick look. So as I was saying, how I was telling someone recently, they asked me my opinion of FBTC versus IBIT. So they both have an expense ratio of 0.25%. The iShares, IBIT, I said would have a little bit more flexibility because, on where you could invest into it. I felt like you might be a little limited with FBTC. I don't know if it's only on Fidelity or if it's even available, on other platforms very much. But taking a quick look, BITI, ProShares Short Bitcoin ETF. It has a higher expense ratio, but it's also an inverse daily exposure, provides 1x inverse. So it's a different type of a fund than what I was starting to compare it to. I didn't realize it was had a different type of strategy. So it has an expense ratio of about 1%, which is rather high. So I would need to do some, further research to see what other funds track in this way of a one-time inverse, this kind of leverage kind of a play to give a true opinion on it, because there could be something that has a lower expense ratio for the same exposure. So I don't have any leveraged investments that I incorporate into my portfolio, definitely not a Bitcoin one. So it's not anything that anyone would be holding for the long term. This is more of a trade, so not too familiar with it. But I think you should do some research and try to compare it to other inverse options that you can use as a short-term trade in order to gain funds. I'm assuming that you want to pull this money out quickly. Okay. Sorry, I lost. Oh, here it is. Here goes the question that I was referring to. I think it could be an opportunity, for trading and gaining money in the short term, but I would need to take more time to look to see if there is something that I would choose above this. I'm still shocked when I see, going back to investing. I hear people talking about investing into SPY, and I'm just shocked that I can't say I shouldn't be so shocked, because I did invest into VOO when there was another fund that was slightly lower. It was ticker symbol SPLG, which has changed to I think it's changed to SPYM, but not 100% sure what the ticker changed to. But the SPY has an expense ratio of 0.09%. So I don't know why any regular long-term investors why people are still finding that and incorporating it as an investment. There are lower cost options. We have to realize that expense ratio is really going to eat into your gains over time. And don't think about it when your portfolio is small. We have to think about it on the larger levels, and think about it on $250,000 over a 10-year time frame. Think bigger. If your portfolio is not there yet, don't think, I only have $1,000 and it's only this much per year. think bigger because we want your portfolio to get there. And so we have to be ready for, do we want to keep our costs low when our portfolio is small so that, it's having the effect the same way it is when it's larger. I don't want my small portfolio losing money to unnecessary fees. So FXAIX recovery time, I cannot give you the recovery time of anything when it comes to the stock market. Um, FXAIX definitely, I have a significant investment in it. I have it in multiple portfolios. Um, I think you should be concerned with the recovery depending on your age. Is it time for you to not be in investments that are going to take time to recover? Are you close to retirement? Are you going to be tapping into these things soon? Then it might be time to, dial back your portfolio. I'm not in that stage right now. I'm in the building, stage. And if we were to go through a rough year and a half patch, um, I'm going to be okay because I don't plan on tapping into my retirement accounts anytime soon. So um, I can't tell you that. I can't answer that question. And I think you need to evaluate the bigger picture as to um, what your age is and what your goals are and when you plan on tapping in, because then it'll tell you how much maybe you need to shift some of your investments into, something more basic. Someone recently asked me, I think just the last like 2 days, about they're saving for a home, and they didn't tell me the time frame as to when they're going to be buying the home. But then when I gave them my answer, they shared that it was going to be like in the next 2 years. And so, yeah, you have to. I wouldn't encourage this person to invest money that they're going to need in 2 years necessarily, because we don't know what could happen. None of us knew that. None of us knew what the economy could be looking like as we were going through lockdown and everything that we went through with that. And then just to see how the economy took a turn in 2022. We had a strong recovery right after, but if 2022 was the year that he was going to be relocating or purchasing his home and needed his funds in order to do all these things, that would not be a time frame that anyone would want to be selling their investments. So you have to be do a mix, do a balance, or if it's something that is really that short term, then just focus on, I would say, CDs, high yield savings account, money market account. Just keep it liquid so that you can tap in and get what you need done and not have to be in the place where you are in need of a recovery in order to get what you are working on accomplished. So I use BITI to short Bitcoin in and out. Let's see. Let me go to this comment. In and out trade. I have done well using Bitcoin's pullback. Okay. I'm sure you have. Yes, I have not. I've thought about it, but I haven't. I've never incorporated any of those leverage plays, but that would definitely be trade status. And I am much more of an investor than a trader. When it comes to trades, I would say mostly I've done is just regular options contracts, whether it's, just regular calls and puts, not even too much trading of actual shares. Okay. I love your take on the emotional. Take the emotion out, keep it logical for investing. I had to stop following a YouTube creator for being so emotional every week. I wonder if I know who you're talking about. There is someone, I watch her every week, but she is very, very emotional when it comes to what she shares. You might have to tell me offline who that is that you're referring to. Okay. So guys, I'm going to be taking a look for any more questions, comments, things that you might want me to take a look at more closely and share my opinion on. Not financial advice, just my take on it. Okay, we have our little joke going on over here. Okay, if I don't have any more questions coming in, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Um, I have to get more prepared with, extra topics because I like my lives to be jam-packed. I do plan on trying to go live more frequently. So feel free to share any topics, questions that you would like to chat about. And again, I want to thank Vincent. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Vincent, as well as everyone tuning in. Thank you to a brother of a certain age for also sponsoring today's show. And guys, consider becoming a channel member. That is also a way that you can support. But as I mentioned, my referral links are in the description of all of my videos. You can have extra exposure to me as well as Keenan Grace and all of the crown traders over at KGU by joining there. I have channel membership here on YouTube. We can have, members only lives, chat offline, your questions and, are prioritized, and I will get back to you on anything that you ask. And also, if you are interested in opening a taxable brokerage account, my go-to is MooMoo. I have goals outside of just strictly retirement. And so that has been a place where I have been building my portfolio, able to do lots of research and buy fractional shares, just get going with, building up extra exposure into those industry leaders that have a higher growth potential than my standard ETFs. I have incorporated some dividend paying investments that I can tap into, like I said, in early retirement or for other needs that I have outside of that true retirement age. So consider opening an account, funding it with $100, and you will get free stock. I will get free stock, and you will be supporting the channel. The Home Depot. I have Home Depot in my daughter's accounts, and that we started working on some years ago, probably about 5 years now. And it's the lowest performing investment in her account. It does pay a dividend. I think if you have a desire to have diversification and you think that you want to get into something different by incorporating an investment like Home Depot, I think that if you look hard, you can probably find something better. The rate of return has not been that substantial, in my opinion. Let me see. I'm pushing out to the 5-year. It's up 24.40% over the last 5 years. I am. That's why I mentioned about you have to decide what you want to be diversified into. Google over the last 5 years is up 235%. I lean towards tech. I at one point had a portfolio that was a little over 50% Apple stock. I've over the years, shifted that and gotten, incorporated Tesla and Google and NVDA and other things. My Apple stock is not that significant anymore, but I've definitely seen more growth in tech than in something like Home Depot. But I do have, I think maybe about 5% of that into in one of my daughter's accounts. But in retrospect, I could have maybe done better with choosing maybe Amazon or Walmart or something different. But a small allocation to something like that, you have to decide what's already in your portfolio, what you want to have exposure to, because there's going to be, there's different waves, different things are going to thrive at different times. And so that is one of those things that could perform better in certain time frames. And, we know what these companies are a go-to for. So it wouldn't be something that I would have a large allocation into personally, because I think that I've seen in my own portfolios that I've had much higher growth and technology and consumer goods, other sectors, other investments in other areas. I think you could find something better for the long term, even if it was going to be a small allocation. So, thank you for tuning in. So guys, enjoy football, enjoy Thanksgiving dinner, enjoy time off from work, enjoy all the good things. And I will see you guys again next week, and potentially even before then, because like I said, I do want to try to start incorporating some additional pop-up lives. But thank you guys for tuning in. Feel free to drop any questions, comments, even after the live is done. And I will see you soon.
And to investments, she made a lot on YouTube. Lisa J Stocks, Lisa J Stocks, that's the channel. Hey, if you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah, you will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Hey, she'll make it pop. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah, hey, you will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Hey, she'll make it pop.